Journey of Forgiveness, Healing, and Self-Love, Part 2. This journey of life has not been easy for many, but remember we are here for the journey of experience, not the destination. If we were to reach the ultimate destination, there would be no longer a journey. This journey is about experiencing, learning, growing, healing, awakening to our own self-love and empowerment. The journey is about our experiences to the ultimate expression of self-love. The vibration of self-love is about true love for oneself and the Divine God. We can then assist others in loving themselves unconditionally. We can then allow our creativity to flow uninterrupted. We can then empower ourselves to step into our own divine light. When we speak of God, many speak of him, her, as though they are outside the body, as though they are separate from the person. This is not accurate at all. We are not separate from God. We are God. We are the divine vibration, the child in the likeness of God. Therefore, when we speak of divine love, it is also not outside of us, but within our own soul, human vibration. The love comes from the soul into the heart as a way of healing, knowing, experiencing, and sharing. We look upon others to love us, or we look upon others so that we can love them in a partnership, marriage, parents, siblings, friends, and so forth. To give love is a beautiful, healing, and natural state of compassion, kindness, and a high vibration. However, when one feels unloved, neglected, insecure, shame, and many other emotions, this is not a lack of being loved. It is a disconnect from the true source of God's vibration of unconditional love and of our connection to God's unconditional love. We have God's unconditional love as a birthright already at our disposal and within ourselves. At birth, being born into the earth plane, we get separated from awareness of who we truly are. When living within humanity, we create duality of love, hate, up, down, compassion, coldness, and we separate or have the illusion of separating from our divine birthright of God's unconditional love and our ability to feel loved by God always, and our own self-love, which are the two most important aspects in relationships, are God's love for us and our own self-love. We must remember we are always and infinitely loved by God. We cannot truly love others completely if we do not love ourselves. When we do not love ourselves, we project all of our emotions onto others. We judge, have many opinions, and perceive the others as we see ourselves, or of our narrow experiences of existence in this lifetime. We cannot have unconditional love for ourselves or others when we are disconnected, or perceived to be, from the source that has created us. When we disconnect, we live in duality. Our nature becomes two separate experiences, our soul experience and our human experience through the ego and mind. When we can step away from the ego into the soul's pure love and wisdom, then we can remember our divine loving vibration of unconditional love of God and ourselves. We are a spark of God. If we are a spark of God, then we are God's unconditional love for the divine in ourselves. We then can have self-love for ourselves and step into our own light of self-empowerment. We would now like you to take a step back and look at your generations of ancestry in a different perspective. Each generation, as far back as you can remember, has lived on the earth plane, Mother Gaia and potentially has given birth from one generation to the next, all the way into this lifetime as you are living here today. Let's give thanks and gratitude to our parents for giving us birth into this lifetime. Now think about all those lives from generation and generation and all of their life experiences. Now let us take a more current and present moment understanding. When your parents gave birth to you, you came into this life with already stored memories from your ancestors. Your parents created an environment while raising you from a baby to adulthood, and they did so based on their own prejudices, perceptions, emotional experiences, pain, suffering, love, joy, creativity, depression, shame, anger, bitterness. As you were growing up with your own particular experience within your family or life circumstances, you not only took on your parents' stuff, but their parents, and so forth. It is like a programming and an environmentally learned experience. You potentially became your parents, their behavior, and their beliefs. But you are not your parents. You are a divine God of child, a child of God. This is where the separation occurs from the very beginning of time. I would like to mention, even if you feel you had a very loving and wonderful childhood, it doesn't mean you do not still have programming at the unconscious level retaining a variety of information. If you feel shame and guilt and you have no idea why, maybe this was handed down by your own parents or ancestors. These emotional experiences your ancestors had, you now become. Remember, you are not your emotions, but you must understand whether you created in this lifetime or the emotions or beliefs were passed down by your ancestors. As we continue on this journey of forgiveness, self-healing, and self-love, we are able to understand and disconnect from our mind's memories and of our human dualistic nature, to come back to our true nature of God's unconditional love and to our self-love. When we are able to reach and experience self-love, we are not just healing and increasing the vibration of love for ourselves, we are increasing a love for others, the community, and Mother Earth. We are also increasing the loving vibrations within all those around us. I thank you for taking this time to listen to part 2, and I hope that you were able to receive new information in part 1 and part 2. I will also post the part 1 underneath in the comments section, as well as in part 1 I will put the part 2. I thank you again, and I'm sending you so much love. Until next time.